Hello and welcome to this week's coffee vlog. It's Friday the, what is it? Ooh, 15th of July, I nearly forgot. And the time is, let's find out.
It's 5:32. Good evening.
Good evening to you, Mickey. There you are, it's 5:32. And we're heading home. This week has been, it's been bloody awful, to be honest. It's not been a great week. I'm not going to elaborate on that. I just haven't had a very good week at work. So, such is life. I think June and July, on the whole, I could have done without this year. But there you go. So, not a great week at work. All my tools are rattling about in the boot. If you're wondering what the banging about is, not dead bodies that people have been annoying me. So, yeah, not a great week at work. As far as macOS Sierra goes and iOS 10 betas, I can safely say that logging out of iCloud on my MacBook Pro in vain attempts to get the unlock with Apple Watch to work really cocked up lots of iCloud and syncing and everything else. I don't know why, it completely messed up multiple devices. Completely messed up my messages syncing, so they completely stopped syncing, and they're only now just about starting to recover. But there's still gaps where, you know, where stuff where I've got on my phone hasn't come through on the MacBooks, and then stuff on the MacBooks isn't on the phone, vice versa. It's all gone completely screwy. Of course, elaborating on what I covered about the iCloud desktop and documents, which it's a nice feature, I think. You know, they're obviously bringing that in for people who work on multiple devices. This auto syncing of your desktop and documents folders. Obviously, it's going to be an option for users of iCloud to add in that they have desktop and documents. As I say, it kind of auto-installed itself when I installed the beta. Now, I'm kind of presuming when they release it, they're not going to auto-install it because it's not going to suit everyone. And of course, for me, there was a massive issue in that when it did it, in my documents folder was my Parallels thing. I still don't know what it's called now, but you know, like the ISO, the Parallels thing that holds Windows, which is a 32GB single file. And of course, when macOS Sierra decided, oh, I'm going to upload all of your documents folder to iCloud, it also wanted to upload a 32GB file. No, I don't want that going up there, and I haven't got that great upload speed at work as it is anyway, without that chugging away trying to go up. So that was a bad thing. Obviously, I've got that moved out now. I know what's happening somewhere else, so it doesn't get uploaded because I don't want it floating about in the iCloud. So that is something to be wary of for anyone who's going to update to macOS Sierra. I know we've now got the public betas out, but there is going to be this iCloud documents and desktop. I do hope, like I say, it's going to be an option you can go into in your iCloud settings, an iCloud drive, and choose to have those syncing if you wish. And then if you're doing that, obviously you can preemptively remove anything you don't want to go up there. But we shall see anyway what happens. So as far as that goes, the worst thing about it all has been it turns out that when Apple said MacBooks from 2013 onwards would be able to use the Apple Watch Unlock, they actually meant from mid-2013 onwards. So all that jiggery-pokery I did on macOS Sierra on my MacBook Pro to try and get the little toggle switch to pop up to use the Apple Watch Unlock was a waste of time completely, because my early 2013 MacBook Pro isn't eligible for it. And it turns out the whole reason for this, is that mid-2013 onwards, which my MacBook Air is a mid-2013 onwards, they updated the cards, the airport cards in them, airport and Bluetooth cards, to a faster standard of AC. And it seems like Apple are using this card as the sort of the staging point to say when the Apple Watch Unlock can work or not work. and apparently it's something to do with the Wi-Fi is being used to calculate distances between devices. That would probably be the phone rather than the watch, but maybe the watch, because I think the watch can connect to Wi-Fi. When networks on your phone, the watch can make use of as well. So it could be trying to measure somehow differences between Wi-Fi. I don't know, but this is it. My early MacBook isn't going to show up that little thing, the little toggle switch, because it isn't a mid 2013. It's an early. Whereas my mid 2013 MacBook Air has, well, it works perfectly actually. I've got it working, and that's the most annoying thing now, of course, because I've got it on one device. I want it on both. Because it's really handy. You just open up the MacBook now, it says unlocking my Apple Watch goes ding, and you're at your desktop. That's it. Dead quick and simple. Now, obviously people say, well, why don't you just not have the password lock on? Well, it's really insecure, for a start. Anyone can start twiddling about on my Mac, and especially at home, I don't want that. In fact, at work, I don't really want people twiddling about on my Mac. But of course, as well, I'm driving about now. I'm going to go Tesco's now on the way home, and I'll be leaving my stuff in the car. Don't tell anyone that, they'll be coming along now chasing me. But no, the stuff will be in the car, so if it got stolen out the car, then there'd be no password security on then. So, the passwords have to be on. Obviously, I don't really want to be turning it off and then turning it back on again before I go anywhere, just in case, and then turn it off. That would just be annoying. The simple fact of the matter is, having your watch being an unlock mechanism is a brilliant way. The password code's needed to be secure, keep the device secure, keep people out, but using the watch to authenticate instead of typing in the password is a great thing. But of course, for me, the most times I have to use my passcode is at work, because I'm constantly back and forth in the warehouse and doing other things out and about, so I'll leave my Mac, and 40, 50 times a day I could be typing in my passcode to get back in the Mac after I've been away for a few minutes, and it's obviously gone to screensaver and in its passbook code again. So really, that's quite a critical feature I would like to have running. So at the moment, it seems that it is the Wi-Fi card that is the issue. So plan of the moment is replace the Wi-Fi card, because apparently that does work. Some people have already done that on the earlier ones. So I have sourced an equivalent. It's actually a MacBook Air one, but it'll fit apparently from China. So it'll take forever for it to turn up. But once it does, I'll get that fitted, and I will report back whether I can finally unlock my MacBook Pro with my Apple Watch. So, what else has been happening this week? I did have a long list of stuff I was going to go on about, but of course I always forget. And generally, well, like I say, other problems have kind of got on to me about it as well. But as far as Star Wars Battlefront goes, very fortuitous for me. Last weekend was a double score weekend for, I don't know why, they decided to do that. So I have now reached rank 70, which is the highest rank you can currently do. In fact, I got a bit confused because I couldn't understand, just when Bespin first came out, the latest downloadable pack, why I was watching YouTubers doing that, and they were only about the same rank as, 62 or 63 as me. And I thought, well, some of these have been going at this for far longer than I have, and they're a lot better, and dealt a lot better because I can play better. I was watching them play. And it turned out that 60 prior to Bespin was the highest you could get. So, they'd got to 60, and in fact I got to 60, and then that was it. You're at your top level. So now 70 is the top level. I have now reached the top level for now, until they produce maybe a new top level for the next pack. So yes, I can now get the lovely Shock Trooper, as we know, the white with red stripes. I've not actually gone on to get that yet because, well, to be honest, there's quite a few of them buzzing about now, especially after last weekend with that double point event. And also, I still like the Shadow Trooper, because I admit he's pretty good for being stealthy and hiding about in places. So generally had a pretty good weekend. I'm well on with all my sort of tasks and things at the moment, so I'm going pretty well with that. Keeping up with getting the different hook contracts, which I'm getting close to as well. So really, it's all holding out for September now, because that's when, and really this is what I was looking for on the downloadable content, the main one. It's the Death Star. Death Star maps are due September, and that's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. That was the whole thing, and it was kind of like, do I get the season pass, or do I just pay individually for the one I really want, which is the Death Star? And in the end, I thought I'll get the whole season pass. And to be honest, I've really enjoyed it. In fact, you know, the most played content is from the first downloadable map, which is obviously the extraction one on the Outer Rim, because that's just my favourite game style. I've really got into that one. I've still not really found a game I'm into on the newbie spin, really properly into. I just it's a bit, I don't know what it is, but I just can't quite get into that at the moment. I keep playing it, but I just, you know, I don't find the start. Most of the time I really struggle to do well or feel like I've even contributed much to the whole team effort. So I probably need to work at it a bit and get more of a head round how to play it, but on the whole, that's been alright. Now, interesting news, completely separate to that, is I need to charge my Magic Touchpad 2, the new touchpad from Apple, and again plugged in the cable I have in the drawer, and this time again it decided it wasn't going to charge with it and just make the touchpad go all wonky and weird instead. So I was like, oh, I'm going to have to trail across the warehouse to get another cable out of my car, well, out of the bag in my car, to be fair. So and then I thought, well, hang on, I remember a long time ago when the iPhone 5 came out, I got one of these amazing cables that had like lighting throughout the cable. And when you charged your phone with it, the lights like did this wiggle effect of the power going into it. So I thought, I'm sure I've got that dug at the bottom of my chair. And it was a lightning cable. It was the first time lightning came out. And what happened, it was grey until the 5S, and then Apple patched it out completely for the devices. So it wouldn't work again, and it's just been stuck at the bottom of the drawer. I thought, well, it's a lightning cable, I wonder if it'll work with the new touchpad. It won't work with the phones, because the phones just say, nah, not having that, it's not Apple certified, and it'll probably explode if you use it. So I thought, right, dug that out, because it's easier than walking across the warehouse to my car. Lazy git. Plugged it in, and lo and behold, it works perfectly. The touchpad says it's charging, and the lights come on, and the lights flow and pulse to show the power's going to it. It's brilliant. So now I can have a lovely desk show of this blue pulsing light while I'm charging my Magic Touchpad 2. So really quite impressed with that. Get parked up. Oh, I hope that. Oh, he's going to wait for me. Thank you, mate. So, yeah, fantastic. You finally get to use that. So anyone who, and I think Bob Bell might have had one of these. Anyone that has had one of these Apple, these coloured charging cables. Like I say, the one when the iPhone 5 came out. So you're talking 4 years ago. Yeah, it must be 4 years or something. And they were really popular. It was, I don't know if it was a Kickstarter, but it came out this charging cable that had coloured lighting in, and it like pulsed when you plugged it in to show it was charging. So if you got those and you couldn't use them again because Apple patched it out of the iPhones, you can now use it with your Apple Magic Trackpad too. And if you don't have one, buy one just to use the cable with. Why not? So they are, Bob. If you've got one of those kicking about in a drawer, get out and buy one of the Apple Magic Touchpad 2s and use that with your MacBook. It would probably cost about as much as one of the blades on your DJ Phantom. Right, I'm off into Tesco's to buy some supplies, including my own body weight in Stella. It's been one of those weeks. Right, I'll come back to you shortly, I suppose. See ya. And I'm back again. Supplies have been purchased, so we can now head back home. Just for @RamFrancisUK, just to let you know, I did spot while in Tesco's a Bacillus and a Pikachu, and captured them both. So yes, of course this week everything in the news has been all about the Pokemon Go app for mobile devices, which is launched and has had everyone into that sort of thing, running about outside chasing down virtual reality sort of Pokemon characters. I've got to admit, I haven't fully immersed myself in it. I've certainly not purchased the game. I've got enough to do without running about after imaginary stuff. I spend enough time running about after physical stuff, especially physical stuff that's supposed to work and then doesn't. Yes, another matter. So anyway, Pokemon Go. So it's apparently being overwhelming success for Nintendo. Everyone has been rushing out to get it, rushing about all over the place, chasing down all these characters. And the theory is you go out places and you will find a particular character. Oh, it could have indicated the particular character you're after, just by wandering about with your iPhone, with the app running, and the app sort of uses the camera, and then you aim your camera around you, and then as soon as you go around, one of these Nintendo characters will pop up, apparently in virtual reality, or isn't it? Easy for you to say, augmented reality. And what happens is, yeah, so you're going along and then all of a sudden will be this character on your display. So it's not actually there in front of you in real life, but on your screen, video view, he is there, and then you can capture it. Now, interesting point about this is if you capture a particular sought after one, you can kind of tag it into the app and say, I've found such and such wherever, which kind of geotags the location of it. Apparently it's being used by the criminal fraternity to mug people, basically. Shocking as it may seem, they've had the app themselves, because of course when it does this location it'll say, oh, you can get a such and such right here, this location. So what they've been doing is sitting about waiting for one of these to pop up, zooming over to where that is, knowing that someone will be there, just inadvertently who's found whatever, and then they can mug them, because often, you know, it's in weird and wonderful locations. They might be in the middle of a park or something. Great, they're out in the open on their own, let's go and nickel their money. So not an ideal game, really. Also, there has been an instance of some men walking off a cliff while chasing down their augmented reality little goblin thingies. So that's not ideal. There's been a car crash attributed to it because someone was using their phone while driving to use the app. Now, yes, this is turning into quite a ridiculous situation, isn't it? So on the whole, I imagine it's very good. I think it might need a bit of work on not operating at certain conditions, i.e. not operating while vehicles moving, not operating while there's things dangerous nearby like cliffs. You know, if it's already using geographical location and mapping, it can work out when there's cliffs and dangerous stuff about, and, you know, shut the app down or something and say, please move to a different location, or just have the damn thingies pop up in those sort of places. So yes, Pokemon Go, whether it's good or not, I don't know, but there you are. Also, of course, that there has been more shocking news from Nice this time. More terrible atrocities, killing of people. Again, very sad news. I mean, I'm not really got into covering this because there's so much of it, and really this vlog isn't really about any stuff like that. But, you know, it's sad. It's sad the way the world's going, that this is the sort of thing. There's no logical reason why people should think that killing other people is going to bring highlight to their cause, because, you know, it's just makes him look worse, to be perfectly honest, and it's no good. So they could just do with stopping it. But again, I mean, what troubles me in this, and funny enough, I mentioned it on the old guy's vlog, you know, part of the problem to me is that there's far too much, go on, do your wheelie, mate, do it. Far too much publicity of the stuff, far too much. You know, the media shouldn't be highlighting this stuff, because then if they weren't getting the attention, they wouldn't do it, because it's the attention they want. You know, that is what they want. They want the world to see what they've done and highlight their cause. Don't let the media publicise it. I mean, I know, you know, the people who died need remembering, but that can be done without the media publicising this whole frenzy and, you know, making it this big thing. So, sad atrocities. I feel for all the families and people involved. It's something that needs to be addressed and stopped. And I think one of the things that needs doing is the media need to stop publicising it so much, because it doesn't need all the attention it gets. Right, coffee vlog over for another week. Hopefully next week's will be a bit more happier. But yeah, have a good weekend. Next week, I'll catch you in next week's coffee vlog.